Hi there, I'm Rob Anderson, and today I'm going to show you a little trick that will help you understand your Etsy listing a bit better and perhaps know where to get traffic from to your Etsy listing. Okay, so here I am on Etsy. All I did for now was I took the URL and I went across to a site called SimilarWeb. Okay, in SimilarWeb I popped in Etsy and I got it to search, and these are the statistics that I got from it that will help you analyze your Etsy store. Firstly, Etsy are 219th busiest site online, 81st busiest in the United States, and 22nd busiest in the shopping end of the world. They get 80.7 million site visits a month. That's pretty cool, huh? And most people spend 8 minutes and longer on the site. Now that's a very, very powerful metric or a thing to do, right? Incidentally, I see it climbed by about 10 or 15 million over December, which makes sense, Christmas time and gifts. Most visitors will look at 9, nearly 10 page views and a very, very low bounce rate. Just people that go into Etsy become hooked and they stay there for a while. Okay, Etsy own a few subdomains, but they're not important by the looks of it. 98.8% of their traffic comes from the core site. Right, just to know that their traffic sources come from direct searches, referrals, so somebody puts a click on through email or whatever, it says go there, through linking. That would be through linking. That's search terms, so where they look up Etsy or they look up other things. If you take these to direct, the direct, by the way, means they know about Etsy, so they've actually typed in Etsy and gone straight there. So it tells you that obviously it's a very well-known brand from there, and if you're in the correct category inside there, you're okay. Socially, places like Pinterest, I suspect, will send a lot to Etsy, and then people come to them from mail and display. I presume there might be advertising. I'm on the cheap free. Let's go with free as opposed to cheap instead of the GoPro version. So I don't get to see more subdomains, I don't get to see other details in here, and further down the bottom you'll see I get a little bit stifled too. So for example, 64% of the traffic to Etsy came to it directly from the United States. Okay, and then it means that these then would work, and predominantly English speaking. France comes in at 2.35. Now out of interest, I would have liked to have seen where South Africa is, simply because I'm South African. In fact, since the 2010 World Cup here in South Africa, we have had a growth in the internet in a huge way, and so I suspect we are climbing up on that. Okay, now this guys is actually why I wanted to show you this. The referring sites, top referring sites, Tumblr is sending the most to Etsy, incredibly. So it tells you that perhaps you want to have a Tumblr account and work it properly, because it's that you're getting more stuff from Tumblr. Why not Pinterest? Social. They're not calling Tumblr a social site. So Tumblr, BuzzFeed, This Is Why I'm Broke, Wanelo, Amazon, Feedly. These are all sites that if you're not if you don't have a presence on that's kind of where people might find you, and therefore then from there move across to Etsy, it's worth looking into. Out of curiosity, people leaving Etsy go to PayPal the most, which is nice to know they're buying stuff. Then they get to Facebook, whatever IMG1 is, I don't even know that, and quite a few other sites. So they go to mail people, they go to Pinterest from Etsy, so they go backwards. So that's pretty interesting. Then the search traffic, this I presume is how Etsy drives its traffic. So Etsy itself will pay for traffic, and that's 16% of what they get. Now the keywords that people are looking up to find Etsy are Gift Ideas, Etsy Canada, Etsy Australia, Gifts for Mom. These, by the way, Gift Ideas and Gifts for Mom, are both keywords that I highly recommend that you build your website on. Remember, if people are looking to rank, let's rephrase that. If Etsy are ranking for gift ideas, it tells you that it's the perfect place for gifts. And it tells you that if you've got an Etsy page, why not outrank Etsy on the page gift ideas or gifts for mom or gifts for grandma or gifts for her, gifts for him? So many powerful keywords. Etsy pay for birthstones, bottle creature. That's interesting. That Etsy are paying for those. See, they pay for the wrong spelling and the wrong spelling again. And they almost all driven by Google. So think about Google. Social comes in from, and that's 13% of the traffic, means to say that Pinterest makes sense. It's so visual and so female. It drives the huge amount, a bulk of the traffic from Pinterest. Facebook, then Reddit, then Twitter, then YouTube. I would have thought YouTube would beat Reddit and Twitter would beat Reddit. So there we go. You see, guessing is not the way it goes. Come and get the stats, the real figures. Display ads, well, it makes sense. It's pretty much dominated by Google. This is what I love. Audience interests. So users who visited Etsy also visited the following website categories. So they did shopping, clothing, shopping, internet and telecom and social networks. They did recreation and hobbies and arts and entertainment. It tells you what their interests are and what you need to supply them with. And of course, people that are Etsy fans also go to the Hunt Modcloth Store, Envy, Think Geek. These are interesting to know that they are the kind that are related. In fact, here's the really related. This is why, by the way, I use SimilarWeb the most. I want to know where to find, in my case, people that are doing crafts that want to sell more crafts, because that's what I do. I help people sell more crafts. I know how to make websites work. Okay, so almost all my products are geared towards selling more crafts, and therefore I need to know what Instructables are up to, or what folks here. In fact, most of these I've been to. I haven't been to Dawanda, whatever that is. That would explain why. It's German. So that's it. It just so much better. I have no idea how much the pro version is. I suspect you don't need it. All you want to do on this is check to see what it's all about. Now, if you have, let's say for example you're a quilter, then search for the top quilting sites, find out who they are, pop that site, the biggest and the best by far. Let's take knitting. So Ravelry. If I'm right. My spelling is atrocious, people. Let's just double check. And Ravelry will do exactly the same. And now you're in the knitting industry. Find out what Ravelry has got from a point of view. They only get 7.6 million visitors a month. Can you imagine, guys? How many customers you could get with that level of... so let's go and look at... Sorry, slow internet here in South Africa. So knitting patterns, crochet patterns, it makes sense. All of that's knitting related. Social, again, Facebook, you see. Now, Facebook beats Pinterest on the social side. And Reddit is still powerful. Interesting. So, audience, crafts and hobbies. It tells you that the knitting people aren't such big shoppers. Fascinating. Now, they also enter Knitpicks. Disgruntled housewives. So these are fabric suppliers, Pearlby and Knitting as blogs. So it's nice. I've never been to Jimmy Bean's Wool. I must go and check them out because they're customers of mine there. And so here they are. Here I get to go and play and learn more about what the industry is up to, and if your case, what the opposition's up to. By the way, if your website is fairly small, it'll just come up here with a like, oh boy, we couldn't really find you. So it's really just to check or look at the bigger competitors and find out data from them. That's what this is all about. Information is power. That's it. Thanks for your time. Cheers.